Should the Buffalo Bills renegotiate and extend James Cook? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video of Sports Talk Buffalo. Over this past week, it keeps being said more and more online that it appears that James Cook is likely very frustrated with his contract. He has unfollowed the Buffalo Bills on Instagram, taken down all the Bills posts, and reshared the fact that he believes that he should be making $15 million a year, which likely leads people down the path to believe that he wants a contract extension and a pretty sizable raise for himself going into this season. Will it affect how the Buffalo Bills handle the situation? Will he hold out if he doesn't get what he wants? All of that stuff is yet to come. However, the question is, do you think the Buffalo Bills should re-sign James Cook? Now, after another quality season by James Cook that saw him take yet another leap forward, in my opinion, in his production and his play, it appears, like I said, that he is holding out going into his fourth year in the NFL, looking for a pay raise. So should the Buffalo Bills realistically re-sign James Cook? And my answer simply is yes. Now, that might go against a lot of people in Bills Mafia that doesn't really like the thought of paying a running back, but I believe that a reasonable contract for Cook would be extraordinarily beneficial for the Buffalo Bills to hang on to him. You give him a sizable raise. You can, yes, make him one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL. Not the highest, but in my opinion, a reasonable contract looks like them restructuring his fourth year, giving him a massive raise, and re-signing him for another 3 years at roughly $37.5 million, most of which can be guaranteed. That comes out to just about $12.5 million a year, and this would place James Cook right behind Saquon Barkley as the fourth highest paid running back in the entire NFL. Now, again, a lot of it's going to have to do with how much Cook is willing to come down off of that $15 million per season number. Do I think he's worth $15 million per year, just under Christian McCaffrey? No, I don't. I don't think he's anywhere close to that. I do think he is one of the better running backs in the entire NFL, and he is a pivotal piece to this Buffalo Bills team. So now, getting into the reasons why I think that the Bills should extend him, the first one is pretty simple, is offensively, outside of Josh Allen, the Bills really didn't have much. Now, people can point to the everybody eats thing, but the Bills really didn't have anybody on offense. They have, Dawson Knox? He's not even in the top 10 in terms of tight ends, or Dalton Kincaid, not anywhere close. And they didn't have really a go-to receiver. They just had guys, right? Like, they just had guys. Their most go-to receiver was going to be either Khalil Shakir or Mac Hollins. Like, that's fucking terrible. So why would you want to take away yet another weapon from Josh Allen? Cook went over 1,000 yards for his second straight season, and while his rushing and receiving numbers were down in this past season, they weren't eye-popping numbers like the season prior. He was a real weapon pretty much inside the red zone, anywhere close to the end zone. James Cook made his money this season as he amassed an eye-popping 16 rushing touchdowns to go along with 2 receiving touchdowns. James Cook was a weapon, right? He was a weapon. He was the best weapon that they had when it got down close to the end zone. And to take yet another weapon away from Josh Allen, I think would spell disaster for the Buffalo Bills unless they had some sort of big plan moving forward. I think you pay James Cook, like I said, a reasonable contract, and you get him and try to keep him for the next number of years. Reason number two is that James Cook is still a young guy, right? It's not like we're talking about paying James Cook at 28, 29, 30 years old, $15 million a season. In that case, I would say let that man walk and go into free agency, get him out of here. No way, no how. But James Cook is going to be just 26 years old at the beginning of the 2025 NFL season, which means in terms of production in the NFL, he has several years left in his prime as a running back in this league. As we all know, production starts to tail off for running backs right around the age of 30 years old, which is why I was very specific. If the Bills sign James Cook give him a raise this year and also extend him another 3 years, that brings him to right around 29 or 30 years old for the Buffalo Bills. They pay him all this money when he's in his prime. They could even front load the contract. So if they needed to get rid of him in the last year of his contract, it wouldn't amass a bunch of dead money against the cap for this Buffalo Bills team. They could give him, $30 million guaranteed out of the $37.5 million that number that I said. I think it is a win-win for both sides. You give James Cook a massive raise. You make him one of the top 5 highest paid running backs in the NFL, and he gives you everything he has in his prime. He gives Josh Allen another weapon. And lastly, is that with Joe Brady staying with the Buffalo Bills as their offensive coordinator, I think they need a quality running back to really make this offense work, right? We've seen what the Bills had when they got just a guy, right? When they had just a guy in Devin Singletary, the Bills' offense, for whatever, it just didn't, something just wasn't right with the offense. The Bills are much more balanced. They don't have to rely on Josh Allen's legs quite as much, which is great as he gets older. You don't want him getting beat up quite as much. You give him just another little assurance in the backfield that helps take some of the pressure off Josh Allen having to be the guy all the time. Now, that is a huge thing for me with this Buffalo Bills team. You can't keep subtracting weapons and think that Josh Allen is just going to save you, right? We have seen it time and again. Even the best quarterbacks need weapons. Even the best quarterbacks need weapons. They need guys to be able to get open on a consistent basis. They need guys to be able to hand the ball off to so they don't have to throw it 60 times a game. And James Cook does just that. You also don't have to push essentially as much if they don't feel the need to. They can give the ball to James Cook, as he showed this year that he can earn the hard yards inside the tackles. We watched several runs where he was very noticeably more physical and stronger than in years past. Once again, if the Bills go to re-sign him, I think it is a good decision for this organization, provided they can get him down off of that $15 million per year number to something a little bit more reasonable, which would be, in my opinion, around $12.5 million. Now, with all of that said, if the Bills decided to take James Cook, put him in a package, and trade him for somebody like a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, I would not even bat an eye. And the reason for that is that it was abundantly clear that the Buffalo Bills need help on their defensive line. Now, A.J. Epinesa is a good starter in the NFL. Same with Gregory Rousseau. Both of these guys, quality starters in the NFL. Nobody is telling you any different. However, they are not game wreckers. guys like Max Crosby, guys like Myles Garrett. These guys are game wreckers, and these are the guys you need in order to beat people like Patrick Mahomes, to get pressure with simply the front four guys and be able to drop the rest in coverage. That is something that the Philadelphia Eagles did well, even though I didn't watch a lot. I didn't watch any of that game, but from what I understand, that is what they did well. That is what disrupts pretty much any quarterback. It could be Patrick Mahomes. It could be whoever you want in that backfield. If you can get pressure with the front four and drop the rest in coverage, you are going to be in good position. Myles Garrett is a game wrecker. Max Crosby is a game wrecker. The other guys that the Bills have, they're quality guys. They make some plays, but they're not game wreckers. So if the Bills wanted to, once again, package James Cook and put him and try to make a big play at one of those game-wrecking defensive ends, I would 100% be okay with that also. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Should the Buffalo Bills re-sign James Cook? Or should they try to package him and trade him away maybe and bring in a guy like a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, a game wrecker on defense? Or should they just see how it plays out and see if James Cook is going to hold out for the season? There's a lot of different things that are on the table. It is still very, very early, but that's my opinion on the topic, guys. Once again, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. I talk Bills, Sabres, and the University at Buffalo men's basketball and football team right here on this page. Thank you guys for watching. Have a fantastic week.